from 2022, he was able to make over 500k USD, with around 80% of that actually being just sheer profit. And I only made around 250k from my online program. So for those that say all I do is make money from programs, unfortunately that's actually incorrect, guys. And what I'm going to do is actually break down to you guys in this video exactly the 9 phases you need to follow in order to close clients. So recently we moved our agency over into more of a consulting business, a consulting agency, where we actually help businesses take their business, whatever it is that they're doing, and actually build a personal brand around that, so they can actually get high ticket leads inbound, so they can actually get leads coming to them. I've then had to create this new service, come up with this new service, announce this new service, and then sell this new service. So when it comes to selling, I've been able to sell Facebook ads, I've been able to sell lead generation for like real estate agents, I've been able to sell coaching, I've been able to sell online products, I've been able to sell frigging online courses, I've been able to sell pretty much everything. That's literally in every aspect you could think of. That's done for you services, sold those. I've done with you services, I've sold those, and I've sold online courses as well. I've done all 3 kind of like business models. So when it comes to selling, I know every single area like the back of my hand, and I've taken that to quite a high level in all degrees, by the way. And I'm actually going to be showing you exactly the same 9 phases I stick to on every single one of my sales calls, and I've now taken over 1,200, probably even closer to 1,300 sales calls just by myself. I don't have an outsourcing team or anything like that. So let's get straight into this. I'm going to be breaking down how you structure your calls for your agency, how to structure your calls if you're a personal brand, and how to structure your calls if you're selling an online program to people, maybe face to face. I don't really recommend that because you actually build a funnel and whatnot. But long story short, here we go. So when it comes to actual sales, I'm just going to put in here, by the way, guys, my handwriting is going to be terrible. When it comes to sales, you need to understand that you can't really force people to buy anything. You can't, this is what I've learned. You can't force people to buy anything. They always were going to buy, or they always wasn't. I know you can sway people and persuade people just a little bit, but I've actually come to the conclusion, and I think a lot of marketers have as well, especially people like David Ogilvy. I think it was David Ogilvy that said that when you have a market and a market has a desire, it's your job to just guide that desire. It's not your job to create desire. The desire itself already needs to be there. There already needs to be a want and a need for what you're selling. So if you're selling complete shit, then obviously nobody's gonna buy it. So the solution is to not sell shit, guys. Again, my handwriting is going to be completely terrible in this, guys. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the bat, I actually want to show you how you break down and structure your calls, especially if you're running an agency, especially if you're doing any sort of like consulting or coaching, or just selling some sort of online services. So we've got phases, and we've got 9 of them. I'll call this phase 1. So phase 1 is kind of like small talk. I call this small talk right here. And I don't want you to spend more than 1 to 2 minutes on this, but what you're going to do is you're going to host your calls on Zoom, and you're going to record them all so you can learn. That's a very, very good pro tip for you guys. Record your calls on Zoom and make sure you record them and watch them back. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to be doing small talk. I know small talk is just this, it has to happen. It's kind of like a little bit of rapport building, but don't spend more than 1 to 2 minutes on this. I'm not gonna give you a script for this, guys, because honestly, it's just like, hey John, how are you doing? Where are you calling from? We can jump straight into the call if you'd like to. And you talk a little bit about, I wouldn't say talk about the weather, but talk about maybe recent affairs. If something's happened in Florida, if you're on a call with somebody in Florida and some crazy shit happens in Florida, there's always some sort of Florida man. If you guys are from Florida, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've seen the memes online, there's always some sort of crazy dude in Florida that always pops up on the news. Like Florida dude like wrestles with a friggin' alligator and actually wins, and some crazy shit like that is in the news. You can talk about some sort of commonality there. That's 1 to 2 minutes of small talk. Then what you're gonna do is you yourself, you're gonna take the lead by saying, let's jump into the call. Is that okay with you, John? John's gonna say yes, pretending your prospect's called John, by the way. Then what you're gonna do is in phase 2, I'm just gonna put P2. In phase 2, what you're gonna do is what you call set the frame. So setting the frame is something you need to do. I have never ever once been able to close a single frigging client without setting the frame. Setting the frame basically means you take the lead. So you're gonna say, John, look, this is how my discovery calls usually go. Or you can say, well, John, look, this is how I usually conduct my, discovery calls or your growth analysis calls. First of all, I'm gonna start off by asking you a couple of questions about your business to get what you call your 2 points, your A point and your B point. So where you are now and where you wanna scale to. Then if it sounds like you're a good fit, I'm going to explain exactly what I have to offer. And then you can decide whether you want to jump in on that at the end of the call by just saying yes or no. So that's basically what you do. You're gonna tell them how the call is going to go. You take the lead and say, look, John, I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to figure out where your business is at right now and where you want to go and what's stopping you from getting there. And then I'm going to show you what I have to offer and how that's going to work for your business. And if you want in on that, all you have to do is say yes or no at the end of the call. You're giving them this option right here because you're trying to eliminate at the end of the call them having to think about it. You don't want to jump on calls and people say, oh, let me think about it, blah blah blah. I need to ask my wife. No, I'm saying, look, if you want in, it's either a yes or a no. It's not no maybe or some gray area. There's no time to think about it. If money loves speed, if you don't take this now, the offer's gone. Is what I'm trying to say. Yes, sometimes you have to be a little bit, not pushy, but you have to say at least a little bit sternly. I know my value. If you don't take it, that's on you. We're gonna grow either way. So yes or a no, John. There you go. So that's phase 2. Phase 3 is actually figuring out their motive. So you want to figure out why they are there. You want to figure out why they are there. This is a really easy way to get some good wins. So you want to basically just ask them, okay, so John, what even compelled you to book in a call in the first place with me? Then what they're going to do is start giving you some sort of answer, maybe like, oh, we've tried this thing before, it's not really worked, blah, 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 blah. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a little bit of digging and investigation. If they say, oh, we've tried Facebook ads before, it didn't really work for us, you'd ask them, okay, what sort of ads did you try run? Have you tried working with other agencies before? What were the results like? What else have you tried to do in order to fix this? Those are the sorts of questions you want to be asking people. And I call these digging questions. Because all you're doing is digging. Forgive my handwriting again, guys. Don't know what's wrong with me. Then what you want to do is, after you've done a little bit of digging and investigation, what you want to do is start figuring out. I'm just going to start putting P there. I'm just going to put 4 and 5 instead from now on in. So what you're going to do from here on out is start figuring out their A point. Their A point is where they are at right now. Because what we need to do is figure that point out and figure out what their B point is, because we're going to then position ourselves as the solution or the vehicle to bridge this gap. For example, they may be a broke business right now and they're trying to scale up their business, or they've tried Facebook ads before. I'll do Facebook ads. Let's say they're in Facebook ads and they're only making, I don't know, 25K per month with their business, and they want to scale up to 100K per month with their business. What you want to do is you want to position your mechanism. Your mechanism is the thing that you're selling, your service. That would be like Facebook ads and funnels, for example. That's your mechanism from taking them from point A to point B. And you want to position yourself as the vehicle that's going to bridge this gap. They're at 25K per month right now with their e-commerce brand, and they want to scale up to 100K. Well, what you do is you put your solution in the middle of these 2 points and show them why working with you is going to bridge this gap. You're selling them on the outcome. The outcome. And the outcome is this, 100K per month with their business. They don't even really, the funny thing is, they don't really care what your solution is as long as it friggin' works. Let me give you an example. If I came to you and you said that your business is at 0 right now, and I said to you, well, I can help you scale your business to 50K per month. A lot of you'd be like, what, really? You can help me do that? And even if it was me going door to door knocking to get you friggin' clients for your agency, you wouldn't really care as long as it worked and you didn't really have to do much work for it. That's what I've noticed with humans. They don't really care how the thing really works. I mean, it's cool to know. For example, if you came to me and you said, I can help you add an additional 50K to your business, Montel, and then you actually just started like doing door-to-door sales for me to sell my, I don't know, like my one-to-one program or age transformation, or just my services or my agency where I'm helping people build out their personal brands. Even if you just knocked on people's doors and got them to me some way in shape or form, I wouldn't really care. As long as you got me an email and got me on a call with them, I can actually close them. I wouldn't care. You could literally go door to door. You could even send them friggin' handwritten letters if you wanted to, if it was working, is what I'm trying to say. But as long as you've taken me from, where I am right now to adding on an additional 50K per month, I wouldn't care. That's why this actual script works, or this sales process works. So we've got phase 4, which is understanding their A point. So you just want to ask them where their business is at right now, how much they're making with their business, what they've tried before, that sort of stuff. Like basically just figuring out what you call situational questions. That's a horrible S. I kind of glitched out a little bit there, to be honest with you. Situational questions to figure out where they are at right now. Then what you're going to do is in phase 5, I'll just put 5 in instead. In phase 5, what you're going to do is start pulling on their emotional levers. So you figured out their current situation. So they're at 25K per month right now. You need a figure, by the way. If you're selling Facebook ads, you definitely need an actual figure, a dollar amount, because you're talking a monetary service. Ads are a monetary service. That's money. You're talking money there. If you're saying social media management, with social media management, it's more of a convenience offer. So what you would do in situational questions would ask them stuff like, how much time is it taking you to create your social media content on a daily basis? How many posts are you posting out per day? Those are the sorts of questions. Like, who's running your social media? What have you tried in the past? Well, you'd ask like a little bit earlier, but you get the point. And then point 5 or phase 5 is pulling emotional levers. So point 5 is gathering a little bit more data. It's almost like this part 5, the best way I can explain it is like when you tell a doctor something, like I'm sick or my elbow hurts, they will start asking you questions more about what you just said to them. So for example, let's say you go to the doctor, and this is a very good analogy to remember when you're actually doing this. So let's say you go to a doctor, right? They ask you, what's wrong with you? That's your A. That's your A. They're understanding why you're there, and they're understanding your A point. And obviously your B point is you want to be freaking cured of whatever illness you have. So in phase 5, we're going to be pulling on your A point a little bit and trying to push this gap further away from each other. So we want to push the B point further away, we want to push the A point further away. And this is how you do it. It's almost like you blow up the person's problem by asking them questions about it. So if somebody says to you, right, or a doctor, let's say you're a doctor and somebody says to you, I've been feeling sick since Wednesday. The doctor will ask you, what type of sickness are you experiencing? Is it like you want to throw up sick, or is it more of like you're run down sick? You're then still going to start saying like, I actually physically want to throw up. Then they're going to start asking you, okay, how long have you been feeling like this? What did you eat? Is anyone in your family prone to stomach cancer? And then all of a sudden you're like shit, am I dying here? What it's doing there is getting you to fit. The doctor's not giving you a solution, by the way. You don't give people solutions on your calls. I mean, you can help them, guide them and stuff like that, but don't give them solution. You actually want to build up this pain. So it's like you're focusing so much on this one thing that they've said that they start worrying about the thing that they've said. You say to a doctor, I've got a stomach ache one time. They then start asking you if you smoke, if you drink. Does anybody in your family have diabetes, or like are they prone to like stomach cancer? And then all of a sudden you start getting fucking worried. You start getting worried as hell. And this is increasing your pain. You start getting worried and increasing your pain. Now, obviously, it's not as deep as this, guys. We're not doctors. We're not trying to diagnose friggin', cancers and stuff like that. But you get the point I'm trying to make. You're taking the airport and you're blowing it up. You're blowing it out of perspective. If they say we're at 25K per month and our Facebook ads are really sort of sucking, how long have we been doing Facebook ads for? Have they ever converted for you? What sort of strategies are you been using? You just want to start, you want to keep asking. It's almost like you're digging so much at one thing that it makes that one thing blow up, is what I'm trying to say. And then obviously, for step 6 is you want to figure out where they want to be, which is their B point. So now that you've actually identified their A point, you've then pulled on this emotionally by doing part 5. So this is kind of like step 4, figuring out their A point, which is this bit. Phase 4, figuring out their A point. Then you actually start doing the emotional pulling in phase 5. Then in phase 6, you figure out their B point. So now what you've got is you've got their A point. You've pulled on their strings by doing this. This is what you call pulling. This is phase 5. So this is phase 4. 4, 5, and then 6 is over here, which is their B point. This is their B point. There you go. So now we're talking about this right here, their B point. So let's bring that into perspective. Then what you want to start doing is you want to start asking them where they want to be in their business. So that's basically what you want to do. You figured out where they are right now. You've pulled on that and blown it out of proportion, saying that it makes them feel like they're extremely far away from their goals. And then you actually ask them, well, what are your goals? Where do you actually want to be in your business in the next 12 months, in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 9 months? Depending on what your service is, you can choose a time frame. And then you want to ask, you just want to ask them, where do you want your business to be in the next 3 months? Where do you want your social media to be in the next 3 months? Where do you want your Facebook ads to be in the next 6 months? How much do you want to be pulling in with your business? And ideally, John, in the next 12 months, how much do you want to be making from your e-commerce brand through your Facebook ads per month? They'll then say, well, we're at 25K right now. We would ideally want to get that to 100K. Then you ask them, okay, just out of curiosity, you guys are already a successful business at 25K, which is a little bit of an ego stroke, by the way. Then what you do is you ask them, why go from 25K to 100K? Isn't that just going to add in extra complexity? This is very smart, by the way. Saying stuff like, isn't that just going to add in extra complexity to your business? Like, why not just stay at 25K? You guys seem like you're doing well already. Adding on an extra, doesn't that mean you need to hire like 4 times the amount of staff? And to get, if you want to 4x your business, doesn't that mean it's going to 4x the amount of work you're going to do? then they'll start breaking down, well, we actually want to get to 100K because of this thing, that thing, and this thing. And those things that I just mentioned, they're what you call black swans. A black swan is what you call an unspoken truth. For example, if you ask me what do I want, you'll probably hear me say something on the lines, I want to get to 100K per month. I'm not too far from that, to be honest with you. So I'll probably say something on the lines of like, I want to scale to, I don't know, maybe 250K per month. There you go. We'll say something like that. But then when you ask me, well, Montel, you're already successful already, like you already genuinely made it. I see you got a nice car, blah, 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 blah. It seems like you're doing well on YouTube and whatnot. Why do you even want to get to 250K? Like, why not just stay where you are? I will then start breaking down that, number one, I want to be the first millionaire in my family. Number two, I actually want to start building up like Africa and Jamaica in the future and actually start building infrastructure. So then now what you've done is you've uncovered the reasoning behind that, why I want the 250K. It was never really about the 250K. It was about what the 250K could do. You see what I'm trying to say? So most business owners, when you actually speak to them, they'll say that they want more money, but then when you ask them, okay, why is it that you want to scale to that 100K per month? They'll start breaking down stuff like they want to start building a legacy, they want more free time, maybe they want to donate to more charities, maybe they want to start doing some more charity work. There you go. It starts uncovering black swans, and a black swan is an unspoken truth. It's like the root cause. It's like what Shrek says, there's layers to this shit. There's layers. Ogres are like onions, they've got layers. I don't know why I remember that. But yeah, there's layers. I don't know why I put it there. There you go. There's layers. And one layer, the surface layer is that they want to make more money. But underneath this, there's actually layers. Why do you want to make money? Well, it's because I want to take my wife on more holidays. I want to free up time. I want to make sure that my kids can go to the best universities. You started unearthing these real things. And it's this that you're selling them on. You're not even selling them on the actual money anymore, even though the money is the outcome. You want to sell them on this right here. Taking their wife on more holidays, freeing up their time, being able to take their kids to the best unis because they've actually got the financial, aptitude to be able to do that now. That's what you're basically sending them on. Now, phase 7 is what you call summarizing. You want to summarize, right, what they've said to you throughout this call, just to identify that they do have a gap. You basically want to exaggerate this gap again, and then tell them that you can give them what they want. Give Susie what Susie wants for lunch. So phase 7 is you summarize. Well, John, look, throughout this call, I've learned quite a few things about you actually. I can see that your business is, first of all, quite successful. You're 25K per month right now. And you want to scale that to 100K per month, which is 4x what you're doing right now. But you're telling me you've tried all these different things. So it sounds like to me you need to do something completely different in order to get to 100K, or you're just going to end up staying at 25K, which is obvious, John. I'm pretty sure you've heard the saying from Einstein that if you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, that's literally the definition of insanity. You can't do that. If you wake up outside and you want to go from Manhattan to, I don't know, Los Angeles, for example, and you just walk and you keep turning left, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, which is taking a left turn, you're just going to end up in a square and you're not going to get there. You need to start adapting and need to start changing. So John, here's what I can actually help you with right here. I've heard that you want to go from your A point, which is 25K, to your B point, which is 100K. This, by the way, guys, what I've just said right there, just rewatch what I just said right there, that is basically setting up your pitch. You're about to set them up with the pitch, but before you set them up with a pitch, you want to remind them that there is a frigging gap. They're at 25K right now, and they want to get to 50K, and there's a big gap in between that they need to traverse. You need to explain that. Then what you do in phase 7 as well is you give Susie what she wants for lunch. If they've said that they want to get to 100K per month and they want to do this in an automated fashion, but they don't have the time to do so or the expertise to do so, then you say to them, well, I can do this I can get you, my area of expertise is scaling e-commerce brands. This is exactly how you do it. You regurgitate, by the way. This is what you call regurgitation. Regurgitation is basically saying to them, look, John, I'm an expert at Facebook ads, and we can actually scale your business from 25K per month to 100K per month so that you can go on those holidays with your wife. That's what I'm really in it for. I'm not in it for you to make more money. I mean, you guys are already making enough money. You're making 25K per month. So what I'm really doing it for is to help you go on those extra holidays with your wife. So that would be 1 point. That's regurgitating. Then what you do is you say, now I typically work with, you know, e-commerce brands that have already worked with other agencies that have tried Facebook ads before and it's not really worked. And what we do is we were able to scale them using our, and then you insert your own unique name for your mechanism. You could call it your 90-day Facebook ads, that just glitched again, Facebook ads program, or your 90-day automated traffic program. Try not to use the word Facebook ads, by the way. I know that Facebook ads is kind of like an off-putting word these days, so just call it 90-day paid traffic program. There you go. There's a nice 90-day program for you. And then what you're going to end up doing is, like I said, you regurgitate. So let's pretend this is going to be the stupid example you've ever heard, right? So let's pretend you're talking to somebody who friggin' is a sheep herder, like a friggin' shepherd. Like you actually talk to a shepherd and he has sheep. And his problem is in his business is that his sheep keep getting killed by a friggin' purple dragon with red eyes. You would literally say at this point, well, John, look, and by the way, and let's say one of his other problems is that he can't sleep because his business is tanking because he can't sell sheep because they're getting friggin' killed. Sounds stupid, but bear with me. What you want to do is you want to explain to him that you're an expert at taking out these dragons with red eyes. First of all, you're an expert at working with shepherds, and you're an expert at taking out dragons that keep killing his sheep. And because you're going to do this for him, you're going to stop the dragons from killing his sheep. This is going to allow the shepherd to basically sleep well at night. It's that simple, guys. I know it sounds so freaking stupid and so simple, but all you're doing is turning what they've said to you throughout the call back to them. If they say they're a gym business and they don't have time to do their social media management and they need their content to look like Under Armour's, you would literally say, look, my area of expertise is automating the social media management for gym businesses. And what we can actually do for you is we can actually build up your business to look something similar to Under Armour's, which in turn will allow you to work on the more important areas of your business, John, inside your business, such as like generating leads or dealing with customers and members for your gym. And what we will do is we'll handle your social media for you so you never have to worry about that ever again, and build it up in a very high quality way. So you're going to end up looking like a competitor of Under Armour's, and we're going to actually even surpass the quality of their work. That's it. You just regurgitated what he said. Regurgitated it right back to him. And you already know that's what he wants because he's friggin' told you throughout the call. He's friggin' told you throughout the call. Now, phase 7 is explain what you're an expert at, but when you actually explain it, you also want to make sure in phase 7, you also say that it's a 90-day program, so you can close clients on a 3-month minimum. Then what's going to happen in phase 8 is you're going to show up in phase 7, so you explain what you're an expert at, and then say, and we do this, John, through our 90-day gym social media management program. Then you go quiet. Then what's going to happen is questions are going to be asked about how you do this logistically. And all you want to do is you just want to start answering these questions on like what you do. And if you don't have the answers to these guys, don't worry about it. This will come with experience. It comes with experience. But basically, you want to explain what you do in a very vague level, a very high level. And you don't want to trigger what you call feature brain. If you actually start talking about all the features and the bells and whistles and stuff like that of your actual service, what's going to happen is you're going to trigger what you call feature brain, and feature brain is not good. Feature brain is where people start focusing too much on like what certain softwares you're using, or what's your certain little system to do this thing, or do you do video ads versus image ads. Like, it doesn't matter what type of ads we do. We figure out what ads are actually going to work. So we do test video ads and we test image ads, and we see which one works. Whichever one works, we scale. Then part 9, you want to answer the questions and keep it vague. You actually want to keep it vague on purpose. Eventually you're going to be asked, what's the actual price of this? And phase 9 is where you close them using some sort of incentive. If you sign up with me today, I'll drop the price from 2K per month to 1.5K per month. And that's it. There you go. There's obviously much more in depth into this. If you want to learn this, it's inside the HR Mutation, and this is like the new version. There's an updated 2023 version of the script in HR Mutation. If you're in that, by the way, and you haven't watched it, make sure you go to week 5, the very latest video in week 5 at the time of recording this, and go and watch that. I've updated the actual new sales script to be absolutely banger. And if you're not enrolled inside the HR Mutation, the link is below. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. This was just a quick brief on how you actually should structure your actual sales calls. Go back on my channel as well, and you can actually see the actual script itself, so you can get some ideas from that. This and that video, honestly, will just put you so far ahead of the game. It's going to be crazy. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe. Peace.